TV.squared.
Content, information, and opinions expressed during the related show are those of the show personalities and guest alone, and not those of Vic Canellis Media Group, its parent, affiliates, or stations. VCMG Live is not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions.
Welcome to Making Money with Laura Sanders, a name you can trust. With over 20 years of real estate experience and selling over 150 homes a year, Laura Sanders is the #1 RE/MAX agent in the state of Florida for 2021. Join us each week as we discuss how to make money through buying and flipping homes, to renting versus selling, and everything in between. To join the conversation, call in live. 888-994-4995, Studio A.
Hi everyone, welcome to Making Money with Laura Sanders, and I am your host, Laura Sanders. Every week we talk about something to help you make a little money, maybe save a little money, or maybe just help you navigate this crazy world that we live in. Today we're going to talk about insurance. I know you're probably going, oh my God, snooze. No, it's really not that bad. We're here with Brandon Felder from the Felder Agency. Welcome, Brandon. How are you?
Thanks, Laura.
Doing
Doing great.
Being here. Good. So there is a lot of things going on in insurance. One thing we started talking about before we started the show was about EV chargers, right?
Yeah.
So I guess they catch fire often.
Yeah, so usually what I tell people is if you know a firefighter, especially in South Florida, go ask them how many fires they're seeing from lithium batteries or from EV chargers. And it's quite a bit.
Really?
It's quite a bit.
That's scary.
A lot of house fires now are from these chargers. A lot of times what it is like people buy these scooters online, these electric scooters with cheap batteries from China, and then they they get really hot and then they explode.
Interesting, because now that you say that, my son has a bicycle up in his room with one of those things, so I think, Zachary, we're going to get that out.
Yeah. So
in his room.
So the other thing that happens, Laura, is everybody has their opinion on electric cars. I drive a Tesla because it's convenient. I love it. It's great for me. Everything's close by. But I talked a lot to my electrician about this when he installed my Tesla charger. And I've seen prices to install, auto EV chargers from $300 to, $3,000. And typically the $3,000 guy is just trying to make a ton of money, but most of the time it's between, $500 and $1,500.
Okay.
And what we were talking about is a lot of these electricians will install these chargers with wiring from the panel that is not the correct gauge or thickness.
Okay.
And because so much energy is running through that wire and that current, if you don't have the correct wire, the wire gets really, really hot. So you have to use the correct gauge wire, otherwise they get hot and they'll catch fire. And so what happens is you have some electricians that say, yeah, I can do it cheap, no problem. And they're using a cheaper wire to get it there to the charger from the panel, and that's not the right way to do it. And so we do have I have a product, I have a bunch of products, a whole list of little ancillary products that I can sell on top of your normal homeowner's policy for things like car chargers or extra liability or extra mold coverage or extra water damage coverage, whatever it is.
So if you did have one of these chargers installed and it does catch on fire, is your house covered with your own policy?
It should be. Now remember,
so why do we need this extra policy?
Yeah, just remember, anytime there's a claim, the claims adjuster is going to come out, the carrier is going to fight you on paying, whatever it might be. But you pay, a few $100 for this extra policy, and there shouldn't be any questions asked. You see, there's proof that it's from the EV charger. Here's your payout. This is covering you from that one incident, and then you can go to your homeowner's coverage after.
Yeah, I actually know somebody whose garage caught on fire because they had one of those little kids' cars with the battery, and I guess it was close to maybe the water heater, or maybe it was next to chemicals of some sort, and it imploded.
Yeah.
So we do need to be very careful. So definitely, guys and girls, check your garages, make sure your new stuff is. So
Yeah.
but okay, so you're saying that we should definitely get that extra coverage. So that brings me to like jewelry, right? Like what is covered in our home? Like if I get robbed and my diamond ring is sitting next to my bed and they take it, is that covered?
So I had a lady earlier
Depends on the carrier.
I had a lady, it does depend on the carrier. The short answer is, and then I'll tell you the story. The short answer is no. Most home insurance policies in Florida are not covering much jewelry at all. A lot of them have like a $1,500 cap, things like that.
Okay.
Very low. I always tell clients, get appraisals for your items, send me the appraisal. We'll do a separate standalone policy just for your jewelry.
But it looks really expensive. But I looked into that once, and it was
I
so
did one today.
expensive per month.
I did one today, and it was, the guy had like a $15,000 ring, $11,000 Rolex, and a $4,000 Cartier watch. And it was like, I think $600 for the year.
A year.
For the year, and that coverage covers theft. It covers mysterious disappearance, they call it. But it also covers you worldwide. So I tell people, you got engaged, great, congrats. You got a nice wedding band or engagement ring. You're going to go to Venice. You drop it in the canal, you're covered.
No questions asked.
I mean, they're always going to ask questions.
Like what?
But I'm not part of the claims process, so I don't.
Come on, Brandon, we need to check this out. We need to know what happens. Let's try it.
One of the things they say is, I'm not going to try it. You're nuts. One of the coverages is mysterious disappearance or items being lost. So if you drop it in the canal in Venice and you can't find it, you're going to be covered.
Okay.
Every carrier, just like any business person like you and I, we're going to make sure we're doing our due diligence, that we're not being, scammed or taken advantage of. So, yeah.
So what are some other things that are excluded?
But typically, you have two types of coverage for personal property or contents. That's all the stuff in your house. I like to say to people, if you flip the house upside down, it's going to fall out. So clothes, shoes, furniture, dishes, appliances are included with this as well, which a lot of people don't know that their appliances are included. But all of these things are covered under personal property or contents. And it's valued one of two ways. One way is what we call replacement cost. So let's say, God forbid, there's fire in your house. You need all new dishes and appliances and new couch.
Okay.
This coverage would cover you to buy a new couch.
Okay.
For what the cost of that couch is today, up to your policy limits. The other coverage, actual cash value. It's a depreciated value. It's replacement cost minus the depreciated value. So the carrier is going to come in and they're going to say, show me that you had a couch. Show me how much it was. Your dog peed on it. Your kid threw up on it. It's 10 years old. Here's $200. I like to call it the garage sale value.
Okay.
So I'm being dramatic there, but that's a good way to put it. Either they're going to replace it new or you're going to get some type of garage sale value for it, not full value. Now, I tell people all the time, if you're getting a mortgage, the bank doesn't give a rip if you have coverage for your own belongings, because they don't have any any say in that or any value in that. So that can save people a lot of money on their home insurance policy by taking those things out, especially if they're tied on ratios.
Okay. Well, there's a lot going on right now, right, in the insurance industry, and we're also in hurricane season, but we'll talk about that after commercial break. But you're talking about, so you say you're talking about the two things that, like, you have cash value, right? Actually, like what it's worth today, and then you have full replacement value, right? So how do I know if my policy has one or the other? Is there something that I should be asking for?
So typically on your declarations page, it says what it is, or the next page down, it might have a line that says personal property replacement cost included or not. So it's important to get with an insurance professional that knows how to read those things to say, am I actually covered for this? Because this is, I want to make sure I have the right coverage. And some people say, I don't want nothing, they're not going to pay me anyway. Some people say, I want the total coverage. And then every once in a while I'll get somebody that says, it's just good to have something, you know, and so they'll go for that middle ground.
Does everybody get like value of, like, let's say for instance I have a fire in my house, I can't stay there, now I have to go live somewhere.
So that coverage is what we call loss of use. And on the investor side, there's additional living expense, or there's what we call rent loss. And they're all kind of clumped into one in a sense, depending on which policy you get. But that covers you to live somewhere else if you can't live in the property due to a claim. So I have the conversation with people a lot, you know, like for some people, they, you know, are 55 and they're in their condo and they don't need a ton of that coverage.
Right.
But people with kids, like, you know me, I have 2 kids, like, I need a good place to go to. I need a lot of that coverage because I need somewhere decent to stay.
So this is something you should be asking to look that over when doing your policy.
And most people have that coverage in their policy, but sometimes it's zeroed out.
So how long do these calls typically take for you with your customers?
Definitely,
depends on the customer.
It depends on the carrier, depends on the customer. I would say my average call is probably 10-15 minutes, and then I'll get some people that have a lot of questions. I mean, there's one guy, I was on the phone with him for like multiple, like 45-minute phone calls, and that was hard.
Did you close the deal?
But we closed it. Yeah, really nice guy, but like
had a lot of questions.
He just couldn't wrap his head around like what I was explaining to you about. So yeah, usually just takes a few minutes. I can go through it pretty quickly. And people now, they want to be, they want the knowledge. They're looking things up online. They're asking ChatGPT or Grok or whoever.
Who?
You know, Grok?
What's
you know
Grok?
Wow, I'm a little disappointed in you.
What's Grok?
Grok is Elon Musk's AI platform.
Oh.
So it like rivals ChatGPT, and it's in Teslas. So that's
it's in your Tesla.
Not in mine, but you can get it in your
So
Tesla.
I can't get it off on my phone.
You can. I think it's like $40 a month though.
Oh.
But Grok is, I'm a fan.
So you
it's
used
like
it.
ChatGPT.
You have it.
I don't have it. One of my close friends has it. So I'll text them and be like, can you ask Grok this or whatever?
Wow. That's amazing.
So, but people want to know things. And so a lot of people are doing research. And so most insurance agents aren't going over the policy with their clients at all.
Well, it looks like we have a guest.
I like it. I like it.
Okay. Well, we're going to go to commercial break. And when we come back, we are going to talk about
hurricanes.
Yay!
Not the team. I don't care about that.
Nah, hurricanes, you know, and honestly, there's no way for us to escape them. So until we come back, check out our sponsors.
Whether you're buying, selling, refinancing, or building your dream home, you have a lot riding on your loan specialist. Max Fish, a top 1% mortgage loan officer in the nation, will give you a same-day qualifying quote. Max Fish is committed to providing his customers with mortgage services that exceed their expectations. Ensuring that you make the right choice for you and your family is his ultimate goal. Contact Max Fish today at 954-729-6933 or max.fisch@nwmcorp.net.
At JK Closing Attorneys, we do all of the same things that a title company does, but with the benefits of being a law office. We can help with residential real estate, short sales, commercial real estate, refinances, 1031 exchanges, and FRIPTA withholding.
Contact JK Closing Attorneys today at 954-332-3111. Again, that is 954-332-3111.
Priority One Credit Union of Florida is a welcoming credit union that makes your financial success our #1 priority. We offer lower loan rates, higher deposit rates, and common sense local loan approvals, with nationwide access through shared branching.
Hi, I'm Dina Hennessy, President and CEO at Priority One Credit Union. We are open to the community. Anyone can be a member of our credit union, and we would love to have you.
contact us today at 954-335-5100. You can also reach us at PriorityOneFL.org. Your financial success is our priority. That's 954-335-5100.
You have been watching Making Money with Laura. For more information, contact Laura Sanders at 954-650-0827 or visit her website at theloracell.com. And now back to the show.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Making Money with Laura Sanders, and I am your host, Laura Sanders. Today we're talking about insurance. I know it sounds like a snooze, but guess what? Without it, we can't buy a house, so we all need Brandon. So welcome, Brandon.
Thank you.
What is a good way for our clients to get a hold of you if they want to get quoted?
Definitely my cell phone. I work for my cell phone all the time, weekends, evenings, whatever it is. 954-326-9842.
Okay, and is there a web page that they can look at?
Always my cell phone is the best.
Okay, and if you're looking for a top-rated agent, something that can help you get your home ready to show in its best light possible when selling, definitely want to give me a call. My name is Laura Sanders with RE/MAX Direct, 954-650-0827. And you can go to lauracell.com. I can't afford the S, so Actually, just wasn't available. So, hurricanes. Are there any named storms out there right now?
We are in hurricane season. And listen, before we got on, you called me a big nerd because I said I like construction. But I do like construction. Plays into insurance a ton, as you know.
Yes, it does.
But my other hobby is during hurricane season, tracking hurricanes. And man, I love it. I get on all these websites.
I really need to meet your wife. I really do.
I get on these websites and I get super into it. I look at all the models. There's a lot of new AI models that have come out that are like super interesting. So
interesting.
It's I get hyped up about it. I don't know why.
So excited about hurricanes. Now that you own a house, Brandon, I bet you shouldn't be as excited as you once were.
Well, I have full hurricane protection, so.
I know, but just going through.
But I mean, that kind of goes into, there's probably some level of anxiety of why I track them as well, because I know, okay.
Whether or not it's coming or not.
Whether,
or it's just
it's a guess, but the models have gotten really, really good, especially as I've watched over the past couple years. Mm-hmm. They've just, they've dialed these things in, and they're getting really, really good. So, I like to track it. Right now, there's a few waves out there.
Okay. Any named storms?
There's one, but it's like going away from the U.S.
Okay. What's his name or her name?
Dexter.
One of my favorite shows.
Dexter's Laboratory?
No, you never.
Oh, the show Dexter. No, I started watching it. My wife's watching another show that's just like it. Same thing. It's called You, I think. Same exact thing.
Oh, totally different. But go ahead. Yes, totally different, but similar, but different.
But that one's like up in the central Atlantic, kind of going away.
Okay.
So there's one wave off the coast, pretty far off the coast of Africa, that is starting to show some in 7 days. Last I looked, it was about 50% chance of development. So like I said, I'm going out of town next week. So I'm like definitely watching that one.
Yeah. But most of our planes are delayed not because of storms, but because the planes are just getting old.
Yeah,
I have friends that are freaking out about that.
I don't like flying. But it's important to look at the storm, follow, National Hurricane Center.
So what happens when we're in a cone? What happens?
So one thing I'd like to say that's really important for listeners is that you want to have good files of what's in your house. So we talked about personal property before the break. You want to save your receipts, especially on your big items.
Okay.
Couches, furniture, TVs.
What if you don't? What if you don't have receipts? What if you have pictures? Should we all have video of our house?
Then you want to have video or photos. So most public adjusters are going to say every 6 months take photos from every corner of every room.
Oh wow.
Or a video of your house. So I tell people before a storm, you see a storm coming, go outside, take photos of your house, take a good video of your house from the outside and the inside if you want to be.
Because the documentation is
So you
very
ha-
recent dated.
Yeah. And again, carriers are going to do their due diligence. They're going to make sure that there's no fraud because we see so much fraud here. You can say, look, I have this video. You see it. Like, there you go.
Right.
So that's a really important thing to do. But what happens is, and this is more for the realtors listening, because hopefully there's quite a few that can learn from you. We get something in insurance called a moratorium. So this is typically when, let's say Florida's in that cone of uncertainty, 3-5 day cone. And when somebody buys an insurance policy, we quote it, they say we want to buy it. Okay, we do something called binding it. So buying the policy, it just means we're processing it essentially. It means the policy's good for the start date of that policy. Well, when we're in that cone, most of the insurance carriers say, no binding, 0.
Yeah, because people are running that didn't have insurance all year long.
Correct.
And then they're going to go and cancel it right afterwards.
And so they don't do that. That insurance companies are wise to that. And
so they have earned premiums.
Some do, yeah. But like flood insurance, if you don't buy flood
30
insurance, you have a 10 or 30 day wait, which is another conversation. But they're putting that moratorium in place, and you're stuck. Like it gets really stressful as an insurance agent because, think I'm usually busy a lot. I'm doing a lot of things, and all of a sudden, I'm doing nothing. I'm sitting on my hands, like waiting for moratoriums to stop, and then it's a mad rush of getting everybody their documents and things. So it makes hurricane season a little bit fun because you get a little break, even though it's going to be hectic after the break. But those moratoriums, you can't get coverage. So knowing your coverage,
it's like a vacation.
Yeah. But
Clean
people
your
are calling
house,
you
organize
freaking
your
out.
garage.
People are saying, "Oh my gosh, I need flood insurance.
Yeah,
I
sorry,
want
call
it."
me back.
And I'll say, so now what I do a lot of times when people say, what, people without mortgages, they don't need the hurricane coverage. And so a lot of people, especially older people, fixed income people, should I get the hurricane coverage or not? And so I ask them, if a storm is barreling towards South Florida, Category 4, how stressed are you going to be if you don't have hurricane coverage?
They're going to be stressed.
Me, I'm not going to be stressed because I know how protected my house is. My house is concrete block. I have full impact windows and doors. I'm not super stressed. But that's also my personality. Someone else's personality
Really?
might
I
say,
would have totally taken you for something else there.
well, I like construction and I like hurricanes, so I'm not worried about it. But people that don't have knowledge
but if they
in
don't
those
have
fields,
hurricane and they don't have insurance, what about having the coverage? Let's just step out of the box for a minute. Let's not even talk about a hurricane. What happens if their EV charger catches on fire?
well, if they got a policy without hurricane coverage, they would still be covered.
Right, but some of these people are not getting insurance at all. It's not
Yeah,
like they're
that-
picking and choosing.
So I have a mortgage on my house.
You have to have,
If
right.
I didn't have a mortgage, I would still have fire coverage.
Right, so that's
and
why I think
liability.
something that we need to point out to the people, out there listening, like, hey, yeah, it's all fine and dandy, and it's a lot cheaper just to have versus windstorm versus liability.
Yeah, a full policy with fire, water damage, hurricane, your normal policies. My average policy, including condos, is around $3,500 a year.
Oh, that's cheap too.
But that's including condos.
Right.
So, I sell policies for $10,000 and I sell policies for $1,000 that are condos. And so, my average policy without hurricane coverage, I think my average home policy is probably somewhere around $6,000.
That sounds about right.
And without hurricane coverage, it's probably like less than $2,500.
So if we've got nothing out of today other than your EV charger might catch on fire, so they do have additional coverages for that.
Yeah.
But what's most important to know is that Brandon's here to help you understand your policy and what makes the most sense. He won't tell you not to have something, but he'll help you understand why or why not you should have something.
And sometimes I'll tell people, I don't want to be the agent that sells the highest premium just so I can make more money. It's not how I'll ever run my business.
Okay.
But I will tell people, oh, you're not in a flood zone. You know that floods could happen. You know, I don't have the flood insurance on my house. If you want to get it, great. I'm happy to sell it to you. You might not need it though. So I'll be honest with them, but I'll tell them, you know, here's your options.
Right.
And let them decide what's best for them and their family. And if they want my opinion, I'll give it.
Well, like always, we're so grateful that you've listened to us. We've run out of time. Again, the best way to get a hold of me is 954-650-0827 if you made it to this part of the show. And the best way to get a hold of Brandon is
954-326-9842.
And again, thank you for always listening to Making Money with Laura Sanders. We hope you've learned something good tonight. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in for Making Money with Laura Sanders, a name you can trust. To join the conversation, call us at the studio, 888-994-4995 Studio A, or contact Laura directly at 954-650-0827. Laura Sanders, a name you can trust. We